Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony for those who don't know, and basically my channel is everything just revolving around motherhood, home decor, and just lifestyle in general. So if you're interested and enjoy my videos, feel free to subscribe and also just follow me on Instagram. But I'm gonna hop right into today's video, which will be a review on the Willow hands-free breast pump. I did a poll on Instagram to see if you all were interested in just knowing about my thoughts while using this breast pump, so that's why we're here today. I've had the pump for about 6 months now, so I think I got a good idea of, you know, just an overall review and feel for the actual pump and how well it has worked for me or not, which is why I will continue to share you know, my thoughts throughout this video. So again, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to kind of give you the pros, the cons, and again, just my overall thoughts of the actual pump. So for those who aren't familiar, this is the Willow pump. It's very similar to another brand that's in the market called Elby, which is another hands-free pump. I won't go into the differences of each pump, but I did do my comparison when I was searching or, you know, shopping around, and I decided to go with the actual Willow pump. So basically the Willow pump is created to basically allow you to be more mobile when pumping. A lot of traditional pumps, you either have to be, you know, plugged into an outlet, or you know, they're just kind of in the way as far as just being mobile. You're not able to be mobile. So the idea of this pump is for you just to insert into your bra, pull it over your shirt, and it basically allows you to pump on the go. So whether you're in the car, you know, cleaning the house, whatever you need, that's basically what the pump was created for. And so that was very attractive to me. Being a new mom, I was trying to find a good balance of, you know, still maintaining some of those things that I enjoy doing or wanted to do around the house. So I felt like every minute counts. And you know, as a new mom, you know, when your child is asleep, it's like go time. It's like, okay, what can I do within this 30 minutes, hour, 15 minutes, however long your kid is napping for? You're trying to be productive, or at least that's my case. So trying to balance that as well as pumping, I just needed some balance. So I was definitely like, you know, I convinced my husband. I was like, I need this pump. Like, I want to be productive, but I still want to, of course, be able to pump and have milk ready for my kids. So this was like, you know, a big interest of mine. So I went ahead and treated myself and got this pump. So again, it just goes into your bra, and again, you just pull your shirt over and you're pumping essentially on the go. So again, I've been using it for about 6 months now, and it comes in, it has 3 different parts. Well, this is like the main part, and this is, I'll put the right like terminology, but this is the whole situation here, and it breaks down to 3 parts here. So here are your 3 pumping parts. The milk pumps into this reusable container when you're pumping, and then you add in the other 2 parts as well. And then there's also bags that you can pump into as well, which I will go more into detail about. And again, I just have my notes here. That's why I'm looking down, just so I don't miss anything. And again, so this pump allows you to track everything through an app. So while you're pumping, you can essentially see, you know, how much you're pumping per boob. So this is, it's marked right boob and left boob. So you're able to see how much on each side you're pumping. So that is beneficial if you want to just keep track, you know, to see if your production is increasing, decreasing, which we know can happen for various reasons. And just to, you know, have an idea of when you're pumping, how much you're pumping, when it's a better time to pump, when you produce the most. So that those things are very helpful. And again, so overall, the pros of this pump, again, are the mobility that you have when pumping and being able to track and have like a record of how much you're tracking all at once. Now I'm going to get into some of the cons. There is a high price tag on this pump. It is $500 just for the actual pump. I believe you may be able to get in through insurance, but I think you will still end up having to pay, of course, depending on your insurance, a few $100s. And my insurance did not cover this pump at all. So I ended up paying the $500, which I totally thought was worth it during that time. Also, in regards to cost, you do have to replace the pump parts every 3 months. At least that's what they recommend. And I do find that true definitely if you are using the pump on a regular basis. I did find that the more wear and tear that the pump parts had, it affected the way the pump was working and you know, how much milk was coming out. So the parts that you have to replace is this little insert piece, and I believe this is like $30. I think these two come together, I believe. But you have to replace these parts, and so that, you know, every 3 months I think ends up coming up to maybe like $80 or something like that. So again, just another price, another cost added on at kind of a high price tag, in my opinion, for every 3 months. And then again, I mentioned that you have the reusable container, which is what I primarily use. I just found it to work better and be more convenient for myself. But they also have these bags that you can pump directly into and put them into the freezer. I didn't find use of the bags. If I do decide to freeze my milk, I just use the Lancino bags. Those work fine for me. And I think these are like $30 for a bag of 24, which is like insane. Like, that's really expensive if you're consistently pumping your milk to freeze into these freezer bags. I think that's a ridiculously high price tag. So again, just using the container and then pouring the milk into the Lancino bags, which are at a lower price, works fine for me. Just another con. Okay, and again, just as far as cleaning, there are a lot of like nooks and crannies that you have to make sure you scrub and get into. And also making sure you dry it properly. I did have an issue at one point where we were traveling and I washed the pump like right before we left the house. I thought I dried it, but apparently I didn't dry it well enough. I put it into like a little Ziploc baggie and I ended up not using the pump for the entire weekend. And when I got back home, I noticed that it was like a buildup of mold on the pump, and I assumed just from the water sitting. Luckily, Willow was very nice and their customer service is pretty great. They always respond and answer my questions when I have them. And they sent me a new part, but it was just definitely like, and at that point I've only had the pump for like 2 or 3 months. So that was kind of, you know, like frustrating because I couldn't use the pump because it had mold on it. But since then, making sure I properly clean and dry the pump, I haven't had that issue. But again, just cleaning, making sure you get into all of the nook and crannies can be time consuming and kind of annoying. Okay, in regards to use, so starting off, I will say I was very impressed with the pump. You know, I was producing my milk. I was able to, you know, have a nice amount of volume. But I felt as I started to pump more and got more into a routine of pumping, you know, several times a day, the pump seemed to beginning to have more issues. There was a lot of troubleshooting with the pump and having to reset it. Problems with the pump actually latching to my breast. That was irritating. And so I found myself, by the time I'm going through and trying to work through all of these issues, I could have just had a regular pumping session for 10 to 15 minutes and been done. But I would spend 10 to 15 minutes trying to work through these problems with the pump, and then I would be frustrated. I would be over pumping. So it would just kind of add another layer. So between latching, getting a good latch, between making sure all of these pieces are snug and fit properly, because that would, you know, basically not allow it to work properly. And just sometimes I will also experience inaccurate app tracking. So I will put it in, put the pump in, it would be latched apparently, I would feel it working or think it's working, and then I would be looking at my app and seeing that, you know, it's tracking that I'm pumping so many ounces. And then once I'm done, nothing's there. Nothing's in the cup. So the app could be, or sometimes the app would be pretty inaccurate as far as how much I'm pumping. And again, it would just end up being another waste of 10 to 15 minutes of time that I could have just, you know, pulled out my traditional pump. Very frustrating, especially in the sense because I bought this app to, you know, essentially help me save time. So, you know, experiencing those issues where it's taking me time to even just get the pump working, or realizing that it's not even pumping any milk at all, was really frustrating, especially at the price of $500. And also, the pump, you know, if I have a sweatshirt on, it is pretty discreet. Like I have gone into the store with the pump on at times, but as far as holding the baby and say I just have one in, you know, one pump in on one side, I still found it very awkward to still be able to hold my baby while pumping, just because, I don't know, and it may just be me personally, but I didn't like doing that. So I still couldn't, you know, pump and be holding my baby at the same time. And another con is the fact that you have to charge the pump. I will say it charged pretty quickly. You know, just set aside time to to charge it like in the evenings or something when you're asleep. And it would be good for like, you know, a few sessions during the day. But I think it just added another responsibility or something that I had to do. Again, just being a mom, like we all know, or if you're a new mom or expecting to be mom, we have a long list of things to do and things to remember. So I just felt like, oh, did I remember to charge my pump or not? It was just very kind of like just another thing to do and kind of annoying as well. So yeah, that's really my thoughts on the pump. Overall recommendation: if you are a mom that is constantly on the go and you're not home and you're not really stationary, but you still have to pump for your baby, then I would recommend the pump, because it did work for me, you know, and I still use it occasionally, but just not as much. I found that the more that I use the pump, the more issues that I experience. So even so, I really don't think that it is an everyday 3 to 4 use, you know, times a day pump. I just, in my opinion, it didn't seem to be able to withstand the wear and tear based on the more I used it, or based on the fact that the more I use the pump, the more issues I experience. Between the app, getting the pieces connected, between it latching, it just became more of a headache and more frustrating for me. So again, if you're on the go and you need to pump and you're looking for something, you know, or something to use in between sessions, and you want to be more mobile and you have $500 to spare, go ahead and invest the pump. Me personally, I will continue to use this pump, but looking back on it, I don't think I really needed this item. I think that it's just a matter of finding what pump works for you. So currently now, so I started with the Ameda or Meta Maya Joy pump. it didn't really seem to do much for me. But what is really working numbers for me now is a manual hand expression pump, the Mandela one, and I'll insert a picture here. But it's really been working so well for me. And you know, it's less pieces, I don't have to worry about charging it. I produce a lot of milk from it. It goes right into the bottle. I mean, even if I freeze it, I can pour it into the freezer. It just seems to be way less complicated. And sometimes I think we get so wrapped up in all of the technology and making things better that, you know, we forget about the most simple and basic items. Like this hands-free Medela, I mean, not hands-free, the manual pump from Medela, like 10 minutes pumping here, and I'm good to go. And it's simple, like not a lot to wash. It's easy to take on the go. Again, don't have to worry about it being charged. So again, sometimes we just kind of have to consider, you know, and not let things make us like, yeah, think that we need things that we really don't. So again, you know, and also one last thing that I've also had an issue with this pump is the fact that I noticed that I was not getting as much milk when using the Willow pump. I was getting like maybe 2 or 3 ounces per boob or per breast within a 15-20 minute time frame. So mind you, my baby is now 6 months old, so going on 7 months. So she's drinking 6 to 7 ounces. So it would take me several sessions, you know, basically a full day of sessions to get a full bottle, which was really, you know, in my mind I was thinking like, okay, this is the normal, like whatever. But then once I started using the manual pump and using the hand expression, you know, now I only have to really pump once or twice a day because I'm getting, you know, a larger volume of milk. So again, sometimes the items that aren't, you know, the most basic items get the job done, is what I'm trying to get at. So again, that is my full review on the Willow breast pump. Again, hopefully this video was helpful to a mom who is looking to make this purchase, or just a new mom or expecting mom, whatever your situation is. Definitely, you know, hopefully this video was helpful and give you some insight. And if you do have the Willow pump or looking to buy it, feel free to drop any additional comments or questions in the comments below. And that's all I have for you all today. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos on motherhood, home decor, and lifestyle. All right, bye.